Studio 33 AD, Catholic Media.
Man is great as he is great in God's eyes. No greater. I am as I am in the eyes of God. Nothing more, nothing less. These are the words of Saint Francis of Assisi, a master of humility and service to God and others. Think about your path, your goal in your life. Think about how you should follow Christ, how I should follow Christ in my life. Christ who speaks in such a way about humility, whoever humbles himself will be exalted. How should I follow Christ? None of us can understand these words. None of us can understand these words without faith. More, this world will not understand these words without faith. Because being humble, especially today, is not fashionable. Today is all about being the best, being feisty, someone who will give more fame, someone who will give more money, will show more body. In today's gospel, Jesus doesn't teach us to behave culturally, for example, at the table, nor does he teach us the art of savoir vivre, but Jesus teaches us humility. So look, my brothers and sisters, at this scene in today's gospel. God gave the people of Israel a day off. A day off, Sabbath, so that on that day they could meet him, get to know him better, spend time with him more. But these people, however, failed to understand the meaning of the Sabbath and who Jesus is. Jesus who heals other people. They can understand it because they don't learn how to be humble servant. They want to be rulers because it's more convenient. They want to be gods who serve only for show. They want to be admired first to decide what is right, what is wrong. They want everyone to talk positive about them and such as possible and everywhere. This is their goal. And Jesus says, be careful. Be careful. This will not bring you closer to God. Be careful, you will not sit close to God in heaven if you do pride. This is a lesson for me, I think for all of us. Because we too often have a problem with this. Pride blinds me to reality. What is more, pride justifies sins. Pride hypocrites the truth about man. And such a path of pride leads us to fall. The opposite of pride is humility. Satan fears a humble person. Humility doesn't tolerate falsehood, because humility opens us to love for every person. Humility opens us to forgiveness. Sister Faustina once wrote, "If you want to learn humility, first look, and after that meditate of the Passion of Jesus Christ." This is a lesson to me, to all of us. Not be a Catholic in isolation from the community, from other people. Let's serve others, ourselves, and we will receive an eternal reward. This is our faith. And now I will give you the example how to live the gospel. So my brothers and sisters, I read this story in one book. In the 2000s, the beatification process of the Italian physician born in 1943 and deceased in 1986 began. The name of this physician was Alessandro Homily. In 2017, Pope Francis confirmed the heroism of his virtues and awarded him to the title of Venerable Servant of God. His wife, Luisa, wrote about event as follows: "The news that my husband would be beatified found me in Brazil, where I was visiting the 3 missions we had founded. So Luisa and Alessandro got married in 1971. Alessandro died suddenly of a heart attack after 15 years of marriage. When my dad came home from work, he would lock himself in a room for half an hour. He prayed and read the Bible, and in addition, he always found time for his family to pray and to talk together, because, as he said, it was the foundation of our family," recalls the doctor's eldest daughter. Together with 2 sisters, they will remember their father's spiritual testament. He wrote, "My children, I don't leave you any land, any property, or full bank accounts. But I leave you what I have, the choice of the gospel, full and completely, which I, through my life, have tried to fulfill." This man took the gospel seriously, and he fulfilled it in a radical way in his life. He said this, "I cannot tear a page out of it or delete a sentence that is inconvenient for me. Otherwise, I would have to reject it completely." It was from Christ that he drew strength to stay with the sick, says his wife. He treated the poor for free and even bought them medicines. Others look at him as if he was a madman, stupid man. He had lost his head. Nurses working with him said this: when there was an emergency in the hospital, we knew that we have to call to him because he was always ready to help, regardless of the time of day. Immediately after graduation, he was offered a good and well-paid job in a hospital. However, he and his wife chose mission in Brazil. They went where no doctor wanted to come before. The local people said about him, he approached everyone who suffered, without exception. We read the gospel and knew that this is what Jesus did too. So we saw the gospel. He helped lepers in the South America. He was for those who needed it. He was not afraid to touch them, examine them, hug them. He was with those whom the world didn't talk about and forgot. He taught people how to heal themselves and prepare medicines. And after his daughter contracted malaria, he decided to return to Italy. He sold the land to have funds to help the poor and needy. And on September 19th, 1986, when he was returning home to his family, very tired after work, he fell off his bicycle and suffered a heart attack. He was 42 years old. There is a beautiful sentence, my brothers and sisters: love and humility are the two wings that a person needs to fly to the land of eternal life. These are the words of Catherine of Siena. And I think and I believe that this man, Alessandro, flew through his life on these wings. He is an example for each of us that you can live the gospel, that you can live in holiness, be a doctor, have a happy, loving family, a wife, children, and be a saint. Maybe someday someone will write about us in this way. He could sit in the first place, be a respected doctor in Italy, earn big money, have a luxurious life. But he chose the way of following Christ, in serving the poorest. He was distinguished by great humility and respect for man, regardless of whether he came from Italy or a jungle, was a businessman or a leper. This is the gospel. He didn't care about a career and honors. He wanted to humbly help those who needed this help. He saved humanity in those who were on the margins of the world, treating them as a brother and sister. This is the gospel, because he saw Jesus in them. This is the gospel. This is our following by Christ. Saw Jesus in them.
Studio 33 AD, Catholic Media.